Hey, insight number 4, still in section 61. Verse 20 is really good because it talks about that the Lord was angry with them yesterday. This is after they have that experience where they see that awful thing on the water and hear it and just get terrified about being in the water and the way they were behaving in the canoe and arguing, and what led them to their disastrous, time. And they stopped on the Wayne's Bend there and just had a, conflab around. This is just not working. So the Lord says to them here, look, I was angry with you yesterday. You guys mucked up real bad. You argued, you were infighting, the spirit was not happy. It's just but then he says that today mine anger is turned away. So the Lord forgives really quickly because it comes from a place of love. We were talking about that last week about radical generosity and how that just is such a beautiful thing. And it's coming from the Lord directly. Like, it's someone who knows nothing else but love. And that's the Lord. So yes, he can be angry with you if you really muck up. And you might feel that. But he's not always going to be happy with the muck-ups you make. And I felt that. But the forgiveness is super fast. And then his all-encompassing love comes in. He's like, okay, let's fix this. So he's telling them about this. So then he says in verse 22, which is where we're going to go to, and this is about using good judgment to make a judgment call, do your best, and don't question your ability. So you compare 61:22 with 61:24, which we're going to look at. And that, again, sometimes he tells you exactly what you need to do, and this is the plan I have for your safety and your goodness. And other times it's like, this is what I need doing, you're going to figure it out. And both are fine, and we'll be guided in both, but there's different ways that he'll tell you. So 22 says, and it mattereth not unto me after a little, if it be so that they fill their mission, whether they go by land or by water or by land. Let this be as it is made known unto them according to their judgments hereafter. So whether they want to go by the water, whether they want to go by land, whether they want to ride a horse, get in a carriage, get in a boat. I mean, heck, if they had planes, that would have been an option, right? It doesn't matter. Just go and do your mission. Go and do what I've asked you to do. I don't really mind how you travel there. That is going to be up to you. Use your best judgment. If you look at the sea or the river and it's like murky and choppy and windy and it's pelting down with rain, perhaps best you walk today. But if tomorrow's a beautiful day and the water's calm and you feel like you're in a good boat and you feel good about it, go on the boat, right? It's what feels good with you that time. The circumstance and the experiences you have determine that best judgment situation. Personally, I don't like boats. I prefer land because I can't drown standing up on solid ground. Well, it would be very hard to. You can still drown on land and that much water. But I don't swim very well. I don't particularly like water and boats. But I still go on boats sometimes. But just generally, not really. But anyway, that's me. Just rambling on there. And it goes down to verse 24, if you look at that. Well, it mentions specifically Sydney, Joseph, and Oliver to let them not again upon the waters because it's better that they should walk for whatever reason. He's specifically telling them that. And then in 24, it says, behold, I, the Lord, have appointed a way for the journeying of my saints, and behold, this is the way. Not the Mandalorian, just the Lord. Anyway. This is the way that after they leave the canal, they shall journey by land, inasmuch as they are commanded to journey and to go up to the land of Zion. So he's saying here, sometimes you'll need to take the canal because it's the only way, because there wasn't bridges, and the canal was the only way to get across. But once you've done that, land is the best thing for you. Do not continue on the river. It's not safe for the journeying of the saints. Now, whether that's just good advice or because they weren't ready to be on the water. These people didn't know the water. Some waterways, that you really have to be wary, like our Waikato River here is a dangerous river. It's not just for first-time people. You really got to know what you're doing on that river because it's very dangerous. So, maybe that's the reason. But this is the thing. What's the difference? It mattereth not. You figure it out, or this is the way. So keep in mind, there's always those two things. So if the Lord's giving you instruction, think, is it it mattereth not as long as you do it? So it doesn't matter how you get there or what exactly you're going to need to do in the interim to get to the end goal I've given you? Or is it, this is the way that I need you to do it? So that's a good way to look at it. I love to, in 36 again, he says, be of good cheer, little children, for I'm in your midst, and I have not forsaken you. And we needed that last week, just for a whole other reason, having a rough week. But yeah, how hard is it to make a judgment call? So you've got lack of experience, past experience, education, and so many factors come into a judgment call. It can kind of like whatever experience you've had can taint getting onto a boat. I've had bad experiences on a boat. I don't want to get on another boat. I've had good experiences around a horse. Quite happily get on a horse and go for a ride. I'm quite happy to get on a plane, whereas some people are not. So, all these things come into it, and you just use your best call that you can for you, because it's for you in that moment. But many factors come into the judgment call, and be brave. We all get things wrong. Remember the spectrum we're talking about? It's not a right or a wrong. It's varying degrees, and we're always back and moving the needle there. Trust in your abilities and your capability to make a good decision, even if it doesn't work out. And that's what we've been talking about. Not everything's going to work out for you. Not everything decision you make is going to be right and work out 100%. It's still a good decision to make at the time, but it might not work out. And actually that's fine, because you can then get off the boat and walk on land. It's fine. Out Eli Maxwell, this was a good one, because this is about don't question your ability. The Lord trusts in your ability to make a good judgment call and to make a decision. That's why he allows you to do it. He's trusting in you to do this. And then you get it wrong, he's there to scoop you up and love you, and it's all good. So, Neil Maxwell, he said, it is extremely important for you to believe in yourselves, not only for what you are now, but for what you have the power to become. Have some faith in that. Trust in yourself. And sometimes you just don't know what to do. Sometimes you're just lost in confusion. And it's like, well, maybe you're in a waiting place. Just wait. Maybe you're just not there yet. If the Lord hasn't given you a this is the way instruction, just wait a bit. Try and keep listening for that. And I know sometimes it seems impossible to hear it. And the waiting space can seem like years. And sometimes it might be. But the Lord's got you. That's what it says there. In verse 36, be of good cheer, little children, for I am in your midst, and I have not forsaken you. And he hasn't. He's still there. And you can feel that spirit. You keep worthy of that spirit, you can feel it. And if you're not, gain it back. All right. So we're going to finish off with 1 and 62, and I'll see you shortly for that.